Hi, it's Dr. Weideman again, and I'm going to show you how to work some problems in Chapter 3 using StatCrunch. I'll show you an example from my Stat Lab homework and then also one of the data sets for the textbook. So let's take a look at a problem from StatCrunch that we might see, and we've got one here. And it's telling us about the Center for Education Statistics reported average math achievement scores for 8th graders in 22 nations. Here's the scores here. And if you notice that little icon here, and you can go ahead and open this up in StatCrunch, and the first thing they want is a 5-number summary. So remember how we did that. We went to Summary Stats, and we've got the data here. So we're going to pick the column, and it's the variable 1 column. And they wanted us to get the summary stats. So they wanted the 5-number summary. So that would be the sample size, it would be the median, it would be the minimum, the maximum. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back again. You have to use your control key to select multiple. So I want the median, I want the minimum, I want the maximum, and I want the quartiles. And I actually could put these in the order that they should appear if I'd like. Let's go back and start again. So let's start up here again. Let's go back up and start with N. And then what would we want next? We would want the minimum, and then we would want Q1, and then we would want the median, and then we would want Q3, and then we would want the maximum. So now they're going to be in the order that I'd like to see them in terms of answering the question. So if I go back and look at my question, it wants to tell me in an ascending order. So remember, oh, they also wanted the IQR, and I didn't do that. 5-number summary is given first. Then they wanted you to also find the IQR, which you could calculate here, or you could also go ahead and select that as an option in this window here. There is an IQR option there. We can add that, compute, and now it's going to show over here at the end. We also could have done the subtraction ourselves. What else did they ask us to do? So let's see. They wanted the 5-number summary, and they wanted it in ascending order. So what did we have here? We had the minimum was 158, 158, and Q1 was 402, 402, etc. And I'm going to let you go ahead and put those in. And then they wanted the mean and the standard deviation, so we could go back and do that. Let's go back to our output window again. So we again could add this on here to add the mean and the standard deviation. So these are going to show at the end of the window. Okay, so now you've got quite a few things in there. So let's go ahead and finish those others out. 505 and 610. So Q3, oh, I needed the median. I didn't put that in. The median was 473. I think it was 510. Let's just double check. And 505 and 610. 505 and 610. So there's my 5-number summary, and I can go ahead and check. All right, and then it wanted the IQR, which remember we had calculated, or we could just subtract here. It's 103. Check. And then it wanted the mean, and we found the mean was 459.1 decimal place, so 459.5. 459.5. And then the standard deviation, and they want it 1 decimal place also, so 99.7. 99.7. Okay. And then let's see what else they wanted us to do here. Okay, and then they want to ask a question about determine if it's skewed, symmetric, in the middle 50%. So how could we determine if it's skewed or symmetric? We've got data here, we've got StatCrunch, so we could go ahead and we could either look at the distance from the min to median, median to the max, and so forth. We also, since we're here, we could go ahead and do a histogram. So let's select our data, and let's go ahead and take a look at our histogram. Okay, so it looks like we might have an outlier down here. We might want to smooth this out a little bit. So you might want to consider that when you're answering the questions about the problem. You also could do, while we're here, a box plot. Make sure you select the fences. Use the fences to identify the outliers. Okay, and notice that again is an outlier there. And remember how we can identify it by highlighting it, and it'll show us this first row here is an outlier. Okay, so let's go over. I'll let you finish that type of problem up on your own. Let's go back and take a look at a data set from Chapter 3. And I'm going to look at the marijuana data set. It's got some nice data in it. So let's take a look at different graphs that we can do with quantitative data. So we can do a, as we just did a histogram, let's do a histogram on this data set. And let's take a look and see what it looks like. I might want to smooth that out a little bit, maybe change my bin width to, they're at 10 now, so I might change it to 15. Let's just see if that smooths it out a little bit. That might be a little bit too much. We can also do a stem and leaf here. Select the variable. Whoops, we're not going to trim anything. I'm not going to do any trimming in compute. Okay, so there's our stem and leaf, which is a nice, again, we can get an idea of what that display looks like. Looks like there's an outlier up here. These look like they're size 5. So let's go back to here and change this down to bin width of 5 and see if that will make this histogram look similar to, and we can see that up and down right here. We can also visualize that in here. And again, if we were doing summary statistics, you know how to do that. Go into summary stats, column, go ahead and do whatever summary stats you might want to work on. So hopefully this will get you started in using StatCrunch. There's a lot of nice features in it that you can, again, identify. So for instance, let's go back and do another. Let's do that stem and leaf again. And let's say, for instance, I wanted to know which country this was. So remember, I can, whoops, if I can get it to work, should be able to highlight it. Oh, it doesn't seem to be working on this one. Let's do it on the histogram then. Let's go ahead and make the histogram, cannabis, compute. And we were interested in this one here, and that's the Czech Republic. And if you look at the description in the textbook, this will tell you what exactly that variable is measuring.